All in favor of the amendment? Raise your hand.
It's a funding item.
We're not voting on the actual funding, we're voting on the amendment.
The amendment, the two that are on the table.
In favor?
You can raise your hand for that.
Motion passes 8-1-1.
No.
Who objected? Oh.
Wow, no, I'm just kidding.
I didn't see that one coming.
Okay, so now we have, so the new motion on the table now is that the LA32NC approve the that the LA32NC approve the purchase of 2 6x3 banners with the LA32NC logo. Purchase is not to exceed $300.
And that is it.
Is the mo-
So now we have to vote because it's a funding matter.
Yeah,
The
but
roll call.
We were still in the middle of discussion, so you.
does the motion have to be moved?
We voted on the amendment already, now the motion.
Is there any discussion on the new motion? No. Okay, we're ready to vote.
Capricia?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Gama?
Yes.
Ruben? Cynthia?
Yes.
Augie? Yoli?
Yes.
Motion passes, what is it, 9-0-1.
Who did the first and the second?
The original motion, it was by, hold on a second, Gama, and second by Capricia.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, he just made it.
What was the count? I'm sorry. 901? Okay, moving on. Item 12. We just finished the letter. Discussion and possible action that the LA32NC take a position on the upcoming city council vote to raise the minimum wage in Los Angeles to $13.25 by 2017 and $15.25 by 2019. This was requested by board member Victor Junayala, so I'm going to ask you to speak on it, please.
Yeah, this is something that the city council will be voting on pretty soon. I think that we should take a position as a board. As you know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people struggling with minimum wage at this time, and I think that with a letter of support from our council to the city council, hopefully this will get passed. So I hope that you will support this. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So there is no motion on this, but you did ask that it come to the board. I would like to see this. I would like to see the board take a position on it, but I think it does need to go through the committee level first. And so I would. I'd like to send it to a committee.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
This item number 12 that's been brought forward by a board member, it's not a motion, but I would like it to go through the committee level. I think the Business and Economics Committee should take, because I believe that's what's up at City Council right now. They have it on hold because they wanted to do a study on how it would impact the small businesses in the city. So I think the Business and Economic Committee would
yeah, just send it to them. Just say that's what you want to do, and if you have any guidance for them as to what to do as far as the questions that you want answered or the research you want them to bring back, just give them some guidance. What I was going to mention was just that, excuse me, when they come back and the board takes a position on it, you should do it as a community impact statement, because I believe there's already, there's a council file on it, number to go with it, so it wouldn't just be, you could also send a letter of support directly to your council member, but also do it as a community impact statement.
Okay, so I would like to send this to the Business and Economic Committee. I would ask that you and your committee do some outreach to the local businesses and get their input on it. See how it would affect or impact them, since that's the study that's going on right now with City Council, and report back to the board either with an update or a recommendation by our next board meeting. Thank you.
Any comment on that?
No.
Because I'm available.
You could comment when it's on before the board.
We're going to discuss it at our meeting on Thursday.
Great. She said it'll be on next Thursday's agenda, so if you'd like to go to her committee meeting, Business and Economics.
Thursday, El Sereno Library, 6 p.m.
This Thursday coming?
Thursday, El Sereno Library, 6 p.m. Anybody interested in attending and hearing that discussion? Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, the 12th, not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Next item is discussion and possible action regarding collecting inventory of CERT member equipment and ham radios. This was another concern that was brought forward by board member Ruben Chavez. I'm going to ask you to briefly speak on this.
Okay, this is something that was brought up in the past and I objected to it. Mickey, you might know him, I don't remember his whole name. Anyway, and Mr. Manzano that was here earlier, they do have a operating license for ham operation. I was with Mr. Manzano taking the class 4 that I knew from the beginning I wasn't going to take the test because of my memory problems. But anyway, the whole thing is, since then to now, we've only had one class, and I was on Mr. Manzano for about a year to have that class, and we had it at the recreational center here on Eastern. And it was in their meeting room that they have, and it was standing room only. And that was a beautiful time to set up squads and all that like the fire department has or the police department in case the big one comes. But there hasn't been any training from either one. I've urged them over and over. Now, the 4th of July, they set up a CERT tent, and Mickey was sitting on it, and I went and joined them, and because there was nobody walking by there and getting curious about what was in that tent and the table and all that, so I went and sat, and I started bringing people in to talk about it, and I asked Mickey, don't you have anything to say to these people? Meetings about the police station where they can take the exams? Nothing. Excuse me. So there's no value for them to have these radios because they have never made any reports to the board or to whatever committee that would be appropriate for them to address any reports on what they've done and how they served LA 32. Okay, so I want them to return those radios back to the board, back to the where we store them. Okay, because there was about close to $800 worth of radios, and for what? We just went down the toilet.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chavez, for your. Okay, does anybody have anything to just say on this? I really.
Madam President, if I may, I think we can discuss this item along with the ad hoc committee that we just created to the inventory item list. I think those two radios can be on that inventory because if they are not in the Alley 32, if they're not in the Estenero Neighborhood Council, and if they were bought with Neighborhood Council funds, then those radios should belong to us, not them. If it's city property, it should belong here, not in their homes. And it's up to us as board members to have that CERT training. And if we want to have that ham radio operation training, so we can keep those here.
I agree, and I think that's a great idea. And it will be addressed because it should be part of Mr. Manzano's inventory list. And if it's not, then your committee will ask him for it.
We'll follow through with it.
Great. So actually, yeah, we'll assign this as part of the duty of the ad hoc committee that was just created. Michelle?
I know that they need them. They need to have them on them because if there's an emergency, they need that radio on their hand. And that's understandable, but at least if we can have a list of who has it, since we purchased it, a list of names of who has it and you know, a check-on item or check-out item. I know that we did talk to Anthony back in May 15th because we took office on 7th, and me, Marlene, and a few community members were there, and he was about to give us copies of all the CERT people, but we weren't close to a printer, and then he never followed through with it.
So he does have them, and we can't.
Yeah, he has that. We took a picture actually with our phone on one of the things, but
yeah. Victor?
Yeah, I agree. There should be accountability.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're you know, this was approved a couple of years ago, and back then there was concerns. So I agree with the directors with their concerns, and I also think there should be accountability towards these radios, and that if they're not being used, we need to know. Yeah. So I'm in support of this.
I agree, and they have also approached me with saying, you know, we're going to need equipment, more batteries bought for these radios. So if that's going to be the case, then we do need to know where they are and how they're being used and who has them. So I'm going to go ahead and assign. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Madam President, we have a hand.
We don't have a motion. It's
May I make a comment? I haven't. May.
Jolie?
Yes. I'm in support of collecting inventory. As Michelle stated, I was one of the stakeholders at the time when Anthony showed us. It seemed to be like an agreement between certain members, and that they had a radio. Yet he didn't turn it in. He said he was going to turn it in. I don't know if he ever sent the digital file to Marlene, as he said he was. And at one of the last public safety meetings, we also asked for the list. Mr. Ayala, you were there. And he was about to give it, but then there were some concerns about privacy issues by people who were at that meeting, and he did not turn it in, but he said he was going to turn it in. Ultimately, though, we need accountability. We need to know who has the property. Also, if certain members have moved away for those radios collected, who has them. Now CERT trainings are going on. We have new CERT members. I'm sure they could use the radios if they have them. We just need to know whether they work or they're not. I wouldn't want to purchase any more CERT equipment without having proper inventory.
Great.
Comment on those radios, the little radios.
Thank you. Okay, but we're going to send this to the committee. So a quick comment.
Okay, those radios for all the people in El Sereno, LA32NC only got those radios if they took the CERT training wherever, and they presented the certificate or proof of taking that. And what was done at that time, it was agreed. Don't ask me how we agreed, but we agreed as a board to give them free to those people. Even though they're city property, you need to find out from legal if that was a legal thing to do, to give it to them free. We were also supposed to buy CERT equipment and what have you, and each one that took that training, like myself, was supposed to get that free, because even Mr. Manzano got free stuff from prior from that. And we haven't seen anything accountable for that.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to send this to the ad hoc committee. Michelle, your inventory committee, and Ruben, you're on that committee. So you can make sure that all these concerns are addressed, and you have the history of this, so you'll be a valuable asset on that committee. And again, Michelle, if you'll report something back to us by the next meeting. Thank you. Let me just note.
Next general board meeting?
Yes, next general board meeting, April 1st. Next item, we have a motion that LA32 Neighborhood Council approve sending a letter to the planner assigned to case APCE 201-43178. It's a request for a zone change at 2730 North Onyx Drive, Los Angeles, California 90032, to inform him that the applicant provided an incorrect statement when he said he met with the neighborhood council and gained support from the community, and also requesting that the application be rescinded. I have, this motion came out of the Land Use Committee, so I'll speak on it briefly. This is a project up on a hill. He's proposing 39 homes on Onyx Drive. He has submitted a full application to the city. In that application, he specifically says the owner has met with both the City Council District Office and the Neighborhood Council. This development is desired and supported by the surrounding community. He didn't meet with the Neighborhood Council, and when I had the land use meeting, I had people from the surrounding area that people I've never seen in my life, and a lot of them that said, we've never heard of this project, we have never attended a meeting on this project, we're not in support of this. So for now, what we're doing is we do have them on our next agenda for March 16th, so maybe they'll get our support, maybe they won't, we don't know, but we haven't had the opportunity to make that decision because it hasn't been heard by the committee or the board. So for now, I did speak to the planner in charge. He advised me that his application is nowhere near being approved or put on going to hearing yet because he's waiting on some environmental impact reports that have not been submitted. So he did recommend that for now I send a letter that he told me he would attach to the file, which clarifies that we have not heard it. He has not met with the neighborhood council. So I apologize, you can't put this up on the projector, can you?
If I had a printer, I'd be able to scan it and then put it for you now, but I can't.
Okay.
Or like right now.
And I have it, oh no, I can't.
Because I don't have internet. Like if you were to email it to me,
I'm gonna read it. I'll read it. And he said I could email this to him, and when I email it to him, I'll CC the board. It's addressed to Mr. Greg Shoup at the City Planning Department regarding APCE 201-43178, proposed development at 2730 Onyx Drive, LA, California 90032. It reads, Mr. Shoup, it has come to the attention of the LA 32 Neighborhood Council that an application for the above listed development has been received by your department. In that application contains a statement from the developer attached. I'm going to attach the statement that he has in there. That he has received the support of LA 32 Neighborhood Council. This matter has not been heard by the LA 32 NC Land Use Committee nor the General Board. Therefore, the statement is false.